Any strategies for working with a 2-year-old who has autism with challenging behaviors? Another question, how to keep a 6-year-old with Down syndrome and autism from standing on chairs at school? How to address refusal to participate in school and transition, shutdowns, explosive behavior happen even with schedule. And what to do when a student with Down syndrome yells, spits, or shouts and refuses to do work.
Okay. So it sounds like the majority of that group of questions was from teachers or some sort of school setting. But regardless, my answer is really not going to change. Something that's really important to understand about applied behavior analysis is that all behaviors serve a purpose and they all have a function. There's a reason why we do what we do. And oftentimes when people describe something that's going on with me, the information that I'm given is about the behavior and the behavior only. And when behaviors happen in applied behavior analysis, they happen in a 3-term contingency. So there's an antecedent, what happens right before the behavior. There's a behavior, what the person does. And then there's the consequence, what happens after, which will determine, is this person going to keep engaging in the behavior or is it going to stop? And the most important part of that contingency is the antecedent and the consequence. And the behavior is actually the least important part, but the part that everybody likes to focus on the most.
So what do all those questions I asked you have in common?
And so all of those questions, what they have in common is, one person told me one of the functions in there a little bit, but what they mostly have in common is that only the behavior is what is being described. And so you might have a behavior, let's say you took the behavior of hitting. You can hit somebody for a lot of different reasons, and how we respond is going to determine if the hitting's going to continue or not. So I could hit somebody because I don't want to come to the table right now, or I don't want to do my work, but I could also hit somebody if I want something and you're not giving it to me. And so if I were to respond the same to those two behaviors, let's say I just said, I'm going to ignore hitting, then I would only be potentially treating one, and the other one I would be making worse, because then I would be saying, okay, you don't have to come to the table, or whatever it is. So that's just like a little, very little, not a very little, it's that I could explain that topic for many, many days, but that's a broad overview that I think is important to understand first in regards to behavior.